This is Agent 001 from Autospies.com from beautiful Terrassa, Spain, with the all-new 2012 fully redesigned BMW 3 Series. When you read car magazines, are you skeptical about their opinions? Do you say to yourself, are they really telling me the truth about what's the story on this car, or is the fix in? Well, that's the way I feel, and that's the reason I started Autospies.com with a commitment to really tell it like it is, good or bad, about the cars we review. I'm a current owner of the 2011 335 Diesel M Sport, and I've had a number of 3 Series, so I think I'm going to give you a really good perspective as a person who's actually owned the cars, and I'll be able to tell you a lot of the differences that I see as an actual consumer and a customer. And yes, we get a lot of review cars, but we also own our cars at Autospies as well, because we feel that we have to have skin in the game to be able to have credibility to tell you what we think of these cars. A lot of the reviewers you read, they don't own a car themselves. They get review cars every week, and pretty much they've never actually had a fork over the cash and see what the customer experience is like. So we think that gives us a little bit more credibility when we give a review, because we've actually had to spend our own money and go through what consumers go through every day. One of the things you notice right away on the all-new BMW 3 Series is the lower slung hood. It's got a really nice aggressive stance, and you can really see it on the road. It actually kind of slopes down right at the front, and it makes it look more aggressive and tighter to the road. One of the things you'll notice first on the new 3 Series is it looks a lot like a 5, a smaller 5. It's got a really handsome tail. The new tail lights look really good in comparison to the last generation car. And in this sport package, we've got these beautifully carbon-tipped exhaust pipes. And as you walk around the car, it's got the shadow line black trim. That's all the black trim around the windows. And it's got a lot of really neat upgrades. Things that you've seen on the 5 Series and the 7 and the 6 are now making their way onto the 3. The most striking feature of this all-new BMW 328 is that in the US, we're used to a 6-cylinder motor with the 328. And for the first time coming back in the United States, this new 328 has a 4-cylinder motor. And I'll tell you, after driving it all day, if I were to put you in this car and have you drive it and ask how many cylinders that engine had, you would never guess in a million years it was a 4-cylinder. So now that we've seen the exterior, why don't we take a look inside? The biggest criticism of the last car, and I too as a consumer, basically looked at the last 3 Series, and although nothing drives like a 3 Series, the last generation and generations before have always had a very Spartan interior that really doesn't live up to the expense that they charge for the car. You get inside and you say, you know what, it's okay, but Lexus and Audi, they have a much nicer interior, even on their lowest end products. Well, BMW solved that totally here on the all-new 3 Series, and I will tell you, they are now at the top of the pack, because this new interior, in my opinion, is the best interior in the class. And one of the things that I love about it, number one, is this beautiful new Nav Screen that looks like an iPad shooting out of the dash. It literally looks like they stuck an iPad out of there. It doesn't go down, it doesn't hide into the dash, but it's nice because it's biased a little bit towards you on the right side so that you can actually have a better view as the driver. There's a lot of driver orientation with this, and I love the way that this thing's designed, especially down here on the console. The way that they've done the new iDrive is it's biased a little bit in for your arm, so it's real easy to touch. You've got your nice stick shift here, and you've got some flexibility that you didn't have in the old car where there's storage here. And you can see I have a tray where I can put things, and I can lift the tray, and that goes away and it becomes coffee holders, and then I have even more storage in here, and I have my cigarette lighter. I think that's a real positive feature, and the 3 Series before really didn't have a lot of space. So now you can put your cell phone, your coffee, your Coke, or whatever, and it's just a lot more handy and more efficiently designed here in the center console. Another nice touch on the all-new 3 Series interior is this little trim piece that you see at the bottom. And on the different lines, the Modern, the Sport, the M Sport, it's all a different material. Now, In the video here, this might look like a piece of plastic, but what it looks like is inside the car, it's actually like a very nice matte finish red, which adds, because we have a red car, it adds a nice sporting touch along with the red stitching along the black leather. I think that makes it look really sporty and almost M-like. You can see it all along the seats. They've done a really nice job making this inside more premium. Got a little bit bigger glove compartment, and the old glove compartment box you used to have to pull out. This actually, you pull it a little bit to the left, so if you're driving, it's easier to open and close it. So why don't we fire this thing up? The new key scheme is kind of cool. Basically, you have different color-coded keys. You can get it in beige and red. It's very interesting how you can actually color pick the key depending on your taste or what package you buy on the car. So I think that's quite nice. So we've got comfort access here. You don't have to put the key in. You just hit the start-stop button. And there's the new gauge cluster display that lights up pretty nicely there. First thing you notice if you're a BMW driver is that the typeface is a little bit bigger in the speedometer and much bigger on the tachometer, almost like the TII concept. I wish they would actually offer that as a special little package. On the TII, inside the tachometer, it was a deviating color, like a real nice white silver, so it was black and white. It made the dash look really cool. But I'm sure somewhere down the road we're going to see something like that. And this new 3 Series has a lot of features that you would find on higher-end BMWs, like the lane departure warnings and the heads-up display, which is really cool. You can actually see it here up in the top of the dash, and it projects your speed, your navigation, many different things onto the window, and it really makes it handy because you have to take your eyes off the road. We also talked about the beautiful navigation screen, widescreen layout, and it's got that really nice, iPad. It looks like an iPad stuck right in the dash, very tasteful and biased towards the driver's eyes. It's really high definition, better than anything else that's out there in my opinion. Sound system and heating controls are all cleanly integrated into the center stack here. Very easy to turn things on and off and actually set your temperatures. Separate temperature controls in this. So I think they've done a really nice job of making it very easy to find the buttons. Not too many buttons, just the right amount. And it really makes the whole new experience inside the car a much more premium feel to it. Inside size-wise, I'm 6'5". I feel like there's a little bit more room in the car. It's not overly large and compared to the last model, but you can definitely feel there's a little bit more space, especially in the back seats. There's more back seat legroom in this car than there was in the previous car. You have a nice sliding armrest, so you can have it back, or you can actually push it up if you like to have your arm in there a little bit closer to the iDrive and make it more comfortable for long drives. And then, of course, it opens up, and you can put your USB iPhone cable in there. You can actually buy the kit and actually integrate the iPhone into there, which is really great. Something that's also new to the 3 Series is when I put the car in reverse, I now have not only a backup camera with guidelines that other ones have, but there's also a few different choices. As when I go down the iDrive, I've got my rear view camera settings, I've got my parking assistance, I can change the brightness, I can also I can turn off the help lines for the parking if I want, and also obstacle marking. You can see that square. It actually kind of gives a judgment of how far you are away from an obstacle. Along with the rear parking camera, you also have cameras mounted on the side bumpers, so you can get a 360-degree view of the car moving forward or backwards, which I think is really cool. So I can actually look at different obstacles. Just makes it easier. Really nicely integrated into the nav screen there. Also on the console next to the gear shift lever, I can change the different modes into sport, but also a new Eco Pro mode, and then of course it has the stop-start technology, and what that means is when we get to a signal, it's actually going to turn the engine off so we use less gas. So besides the fact that this is an all-new 4-cylinder coming into the US, and the old 6-cylinder 328 got amazing gas mileage, this one's going to do even better with the 4, and this is an 8-speed transmission instead of a 6-speed transmission, which makes things even more interesting. Steering wheel controls, Much more like the 5 Series and the 7 Series, a lot more capabilities on the steering wheel, modes, cruise control, different toggle switches. It just looks like a more premium steering wheel with more capabilities, and of course you have your paddle shifters plus and minus, which makes driving that beautiful 8-speed transmission a wonderful experience. When you see what BMW has done in the 335 with the twin turbo, probably the best engine on the planet, and now they've taken this 4-cylinder, which honestly, you would never know it's not a 4 if I didn't tell you. And if you drove it, you would never know, because this thing pulls, it's got a lot of power, it's right in all the gears, and you combine it with that 8-speed transmission. Man, the gas mileage before on a 328 was amazing. Imagine what it's going to be with this. Here I am in the stop-start mode. The engine is turned off. As soon as I hit the gas, it starts. But this 4-cylinder, I mean, it's really powerful. It doesn't feel like a 4-cylinder. This is Agent 001 on the all-new BMW 3 Series for 2012. Remember, spy before you buy.
This is autospice.com. Spy before you buy.
This is autospice.com. Spy before you buy.
Spy before you buy.
Spy before you buy.
Spy before you buy.